There are sounds that entertain us, and then there are sounds that heal us. Music has always existed, but not all music touches the heart the way Sufi music does. It does not ask to be understood by the mind. It insists on being felt by the soul. Rumi once wrote, "Music is the language of the spirit. It opens the secret of life, bringing peace, abolishing strife." Those words capture the essence of Sufi music. It is not performance, but prayer, not entertainment, but enlightenment. The strings of the sitar, the beat of the dole, the human voice rising in devotion. Together, they weave something far greater than sound. They weave medicine for the restless spirit. To see why this music heals, one must travel back to its beginnings. Across centuries, deep in the mystical traditions of Islam, seekers discovered that love for the divine was too vast to be contained by words alone. Words needed rhythm. Rhythm needed voice. And voice needed surrender. The 13th century poet and musician Amir Khusro, often called the father of Qawwali, understood this truth. For him, music was not a luxury, but a necessity of the spirit. Through his devotional compositions, he gave people a path to feel God's presence vibrating in their very bones. Centuries later, Bulleh Shah would echo the same realization. When the flute plays, it is not the reed that sings, but the soul breathing through it. The instruments are only vessels, the singers only channels. What truly sings is the soul, longing for union with its source. And because it is the soul that sings, Sufi music speaks a universal language. You do not need to understand Urdu, Persian, or Sindhi to be moved by it. A person sitting in London or New York who has never read a verse of Shah Abdul Latif Bhite can attend a performance by Abida Parveen or listen to Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan and find tears rising unbidden. Abida herself once said, "Sufi music is not singing, it is a prayer." That is why the words are secondary. The longing, the surrender, the fire of love. These are what the heart recognizes. British musician Peter Marsh once captured this mystery when reviewing Abida's album Vizal in 2002. Parveen could sing a shopping list and have an audience weeping. He was pointing not just to her gift, but to the very spirit of Sufi music. Its force lies not in lyrics alone, but in vibration, surrender, and the raw energy of devotion. Shah Latif hinted at the same truth when he wrote, "The strings of the tambura do not just vibrate, they heal the heart." But what does it mean to say that this music heals? Healing here is not only of the body, but of the heart, the mind, and the soul. Life leaves us wounded by grief, heartbreak, and loneliness. In the rising intensity of Qawwali, with its repetition and layered rhythms, people find a safe space to weep, to release, to be cleansed. Modern science, interestingly, now confirms what Sufis knew long ago. Music lowers stress hormones, steadies the heartbeat, synchronizes brain waves, and uplifts mood through dopamine. And in collective gatherings, as voices and claps merge, listeners feel a rare sense of belonging, a return to unity. Yet, beyond emotion and psychology, the healing of Sufi music is ultimately spiritual. At its heart, it is zikr, remembrance of God. Through repetition of the divine name, through melodies drenched in love, the ego dissolves. What remains is stillness, peace, and presence. Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan expressed it perfectly. When I sing, I want to take you beyond yourself, to where the soul meets the divine. The music itself mirrors life. It begins quietly, like a whisper, then builds, layer upon layer, tempo upon tempo, until it crashes in ecstasy, and then it softens again, returning the listener to silence. This wave is the wave of existence itself. Our days rise and fall, our emotions ebb and flow, our journeys climb and descend. Sufi music does not fight these rhythms. It embraces them. It teaches us to ride the waves rather than resist them. As Rumi said, "Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure." To sit in a Sufi gathering is to feel this truth in your own body. Pain does not vanish, but it transforms. What once burned becomes the fire that lights the path. And so we arrive at the question, why does this ancient tradition still matter? In a modern, fast-paced world? Because our hearts have not changed. Technology may have given us skyscrapers, satellites, and smartphones, but it has not cured our loneliness or stilled our anxiety. If anything, the chaos of modern life has made the hunger for peace stronger than ever. And Sufi music answers that hunger. It offers silence disguised as sound. It reminds us of what truly matters. That is why young people from Tokyo to New York are rediscovering Nusrat, Abida, and countless others on Spotify and YouTube. At concerts, audiences who cannot understand a single word still close their eyes and sway because the soul does not need translation. Centuries ago, Bulleh Shah wrote, "Your love has made me dance, my beloved, dance and dance again." That dance has never stopped. Sufi music is also a bridge between East and West, between the sacred and the secular, between ancient traditions and modern lives. When Nusrat collaborated with Peter Gabriel, or when mystical chants found their way into Hollywood films, the world witnessed how this music could cross boundaries effortlessly. Today, when Abida Parveen performs verses of Shah Latif and Bulleh Shah for global audiences, people who have never heard those names leave the concert with their hearts stirred. That is the universality of true soul music. It belongs to no single people, yet it uplifts all. Imagine for a moment a restless heart, sleepless, anxious, weary of modern burdens. Now imagine that same heart in a dimly lit room, hearing the first notes of a qawwali. The rhythm builds, repetition begins, the voice rises, hands clap in unison. Slowly the heart begins to loosen, the noise of the world fades, and for a few minutes, there is only peace. This is why Sufi music still matters. Because we are not machines. We are souls. And the soul requires nourishment as surely as the body does, Rumi reminds us. We have fallen into the place where everything is music. The universe itself is vibration, and Sufi music is our attempt to align with that vibration. Shah Abdul Latif said, "The tambura does not merely create sound, it carries the memory of the beloved." Nusrat wanted to take us beyond ourselves. Abida tells us that singing is prayer. Bulleh Shah danced until words dissolved. And here we are, centuries later, still listening, still weeping, still remembering. Because Sufi music was never meant for one era. It was meant for the soul. And the soul is timeless. So the next time you listen, whether to the thunder of Nusrat's voice, the ocean of Abida's presence, or the gentle verses of Shah Latif, do not just hear it. Feel it. Close your eyes. Let it carry you. Let it heal you. For in that moment, you will discover what the Sufis always knew. Music is not sound. Music is the soul remembering itself.